We got to have vision within our organization. We got to get the bus headed in the right direction. I think you've got that, G. I've been cyber stalking you. Okay? I think it's there. The question is it really who we are? Or is it just our website? Is it just hanging in posters in our offices, in our headquarters building, right? Or is it a part of who we are? It's in our DNA. It's how we operate. Then we got to set that culture. Again, you've got all the words. The question is, are you living it? Ask yourself that looking in the mirror. Be honest. And then go about making it who you are. Man, that's a great place to work. That's a place you get up every day, you put the keys in the ignition, you go, man, I'm going to work today. I like the people that I work with because we got a good climate, which is the next one, right? You don't get up, put your keys in the ignition, and go, another day at work. Right? They're out there. And those are the attributes that Ernest first spoke of and now I'm reinforcing, right? Trust, empowerment, innovation, initiative, agility. Hey, get flat-footed. Get flat-footed in the 21st century business world and see where that leads you. It's tough, right? Remember Nokia? It's the famous quote of the CEO of Nokia. We didn't do anything wrong. Somehow we lost. They got bought out. They lost them. Because they got flat-footed. They're resistant to change. What we're doing works. Hey, the 21st century is fast. It's moving. It's agile. It's flexible. That means you have to physically be that way in your organization to grow. Let's talk a little bit about what do we need to do as leaders then? What attributes do our leaders need to have, right? Here's some threats to that innovation, leaders. Unwilling to change, right? Believe it or not, when I coach with CEOs, one of the first things I ask them, are you willing to change? Especially if they're over 55 years of age. Are you willing to change? You need to decide right now, because we're wasting time if you're not willing to change. A culture that fails to foster trust and empowerment. I had a boss one time that used to tell me, Jimmy, I trust you. I trust you to make those calls. Just call me before you do it. He did. And I finally got the gumption to say, you don't get it. If I have to call you, it's not my decision to make. It's yours. That's rhetoric. Trust is there when the person being trusted feels it. They feel empowered and they're willing to act. It isn't about what you say. It's about the receiving it. They feel trusted and they're willing to act. A climate in which teamwork and collaboration doesn't exist. Hey, look, I worked with a bunch of strategists that would work on strategic documents for the president's signature, and when we would go to brief that thing, it was like they were carrying the nuclear codes for the president. Don't look. I'm going to brief, and I've poured my heart and soul into this, and I'm going to get credit for it. That doesn't work, folks. We got to collaborate. We got to work together. You're going to get all the credit you need, I promise. Be a good team player. Foster that in your organization and see how well the climate improves within your organization. An environment in which human relationships are not regarded as vital. Hey, look, I don't care how technologically advanced we become. Life is and always will be about people and relationships. If you don't take anything else away, take that away today. That's the leadership style I grew up with. That worked very effectively, right? It was very directed. It was hierarchical, right? Think about big business, 70s, 80s, early 90s, okay? Linear, structured, top-driven. That style is not very effective in the world I just left, okay? And I'll argue that it's not effective in your world, okay? I found that is a lot more effective today. That's me and none other than Chris McKay from Battle of Why Not. That's 2 deployments after that Why Not deployment in Afghanistan. That seems to be a lot more effective than this directive. I have all the answers. Listen to me. I can't get close to you because you might see my flaws. We all got them, okay? Some of us got more than me. Guilty. But it's okay. Our people know we're human. They need to know we're human. So they'll help us be better. Each of us. These people make me a better human being every day. Serve your people. You'll influence the climate of your organization. Set an example, and you'll shape the culture, I promise you. I'm going to leave you with one final story. Og Mandino wrote many books, but he wrote one near the end of his life called A Better Way to Live, in which he gave some rules to live by. Number 10 resonated to share it as much as possible. Og died in 1996, and he was just a wonderful man, great speaker, wonderful author, and it makes my point, but it seems to keep old Og around. What a wonderful, kind-hearted, great man. You see, back in the old days of publishing, you wrote a book, and then you went on the road, and you did your book signing, your engagements, and back then the publisher would hand you a stack of tickets and an itinerary and wish you luck, and off you went. Og was going to Nashville to do a series of engagements. He flew into Nashville, went to his hotel. The next morning, bright and early, he called for a caddy. A young African-American male in his late 20s showed up. His name was Raymond Bright. Ray pulled up, and Og loaded into the taxi and told him his itinerary for the day and where he was going. Off they went. The first thing they were doing that morning was a live TV show. So as they drove out through the Nashville outskirts to get to this television studio, Og spoke with Ray, got to know him. When he got there, they were about to pull into the driveway, and Ray said, "Mr. Og, this is the best broadcast studio in the region." And Og said, "Thanks, Ray." He pulled up, and Og got out, and he remembered rule number 10. And he leaned back in, he said, "Ray, have you ever seen a television show live?" Ray said, "Oh, no, sir." He said, "I'll tell you what, leave the flag up. I'll pay the bill. It'll be about an hour and 15 minutes. Come on in with me and see the television show." Ray flipped that flag down. They weren't going to charge him for that. Ran around and tucked his white t-shirt into his jeans, and they walked in the front door, and Og Mandino was met by the director and the producer, at which time he introduced him to his friend, Ray Bright. They escorted Ray down to center stage front row, and for an hour he watched his first live television show being filmed. They left there, and Og had a book signing downtown in Nashville. Drove him down there, and again, Og took Ray in with him. They sat down at the table, signed books, and Og introduced everyone to his friend Ray Bright. After that, he said he was hungry. They went outside. He said, "Ray, is there anywhere we can get something to eat?" Ray said, "Oh, yes, sir. I'm going to take you to my part of town. There's a little diner." So they went over to near where Ray lived and went into a little diner. Og said he ate a burger as big as the platter it was served on. It was wonderful. They got done eating. He started to reach into his pocket to grab his wallet, and he felt a hand on his elbow. It was Ray. He said, "It's mine. You're not paying for this dinner." They drove back to the hotel. Og went upstairs, got his luggage, came back downstairs, loaded up, and they headed out toward the airport in Nashville. He said he was tired. He was about to drift to sleep when I heard Ray up front say these words, "I ain't never going to forget this day as long as I live." And Og leaned up and said, "Why is that, Ray?" And Ray said, "Because today, for the first time in my life, I felt important. You made me feel important." They went on to the airport. Ray got out and unloaded Og's luggage. He came up to him on the sidewalk with tears streaming down his face. And he hugged him and said, "I love you, Og." And Og said, "I love you, Ray." A gentleman in his 60s, a young African-American male in his 20s that he met that morning, made that profound of an impact on another human being because he lived rule number 10. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend to them all the care, kindness, and understanding you can muster. And do it with no thought of any reward. Your life will never be the same again. Begin living this today, and I promise you'll be more effective. How did it all turn out? We got back in December 2009 after a very difficult year. We lost 35 soldiers on the ground during that deployment. Had airplanes shot to pieces, pilots shot to pieces, one through the head that survived and has had another kid since. When we got back that following spring, we became the first unit in Army history to be selected as the Army Aviation Association of America Combat Aviation Unit of the Year and the LSD Parker Aviation Unit of the Year. We had the Pilot of the Year, the Army Aviation Trainer of the Year, the Flight Surgeon of the Year, the Sheet Metal Mechanic Repairer of the Year, Electrician of the Year. We got the Air Land Sea Hoist of the Year. We got the Aubrey Red Newman Leadership Award, and it goes on and on. Why? Not because Jimmy Blackmon did anything extraordinary. Jimmy Blackmon didn't pump any gas, turn turn any wrenches. Jimmy Lyman didn't do anything heroic in combat, render aid to a dying soldier. All I did was create an environment where those people could be themselves and maximize their potential. And you can do the same. They'll surprise you. You create the environment where they can truly maximize their potential. They'll surprise you. I can't promise you what your earnings will be next year. I can't promise you how you'll compare to your competitors. But I will promise you that if you'll apply these things in your life as a leader, you'll sleep better at night and you'll enjoy going to work every day better. And that's priceless. Thank you.